Hi everyone. I have come to Amisfield Gardens, which is a walled garden in East Lothian, and today we're talking about relaxation. It's probably one of the pillars of well-being that's often skipped over. People think they're relaxing by sitting in front of the TV watching Netflix and having a takeaway, but that is not the relaxation that I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is what's called stress management, and today I'm going to give you a few different tips and tricks on how you can manage that. Right, so recently I watched a video clip of Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey was saying that the reason everyone is stressed is because of time travel. And what he meant by that was people are constantly thinking about things in the future, and that's what's stressing them out instead of being present and in the moment. And when I talk about stress management, what I'm really meaning is can you be in the moment? And the things I'm going to share with you today are ways to be in that moment and kind of distract yourself from the future and not worry too much about it and spend a bit more time on what you're actually doing at that moment in time. So, sorry, it's very bright today, so I'm doing a lot of squinting. I'll maybe move. All right, I'll see you in a bit. So the first thing that I would like you to try and do is to take time to relax. Now that seems a bit odd, but actually people don't take enough time to relax. They try and squeeze it in, but pick a part of your day where you feel you can fit that in, even if it's just 5 minutes, and make that a non-negotiable. And during that time, try and practice whichever of the relaxation techniques you want to. But make time. That would be my first one. Make time. So the next point would be try to take some gentle exercise. Now that can be in any form you like, but predominantly, as I mentioned in previous videos, walking is probably the easiest one. And ideally you'll get to a place like this, because if you can have a walk in nature, it's so much better for you than just the walk itself. Now you'll have seen in the intro I had my bike. I'm out with the kids today, and it's a very leisurely cycle, so I would class this as gentle exercise, albeit that being on the roads with 2 children cycling was a little bit stressful. But take some time for gentle exercise. That's point number 2. Tip number 3, learn breathing techniques. Now there are loads of them. I think probably the easiest one is a 4 and 8 breath, which I've mentioned before, which is in for 4 slowly and then out for 8. But you can do lots of variations on that. And the one I like best at the moment is what's called the physiological sigh, which is where you take as big a deep breath in as you can through your nose, and when you think you can't breathe anymore, just take an extra bit in and then breathe out slowly through your mouth. And try and make the out breath longer than the in breath. And when you're doing that breath in and you've taken that last big deep breath, just hold it for a few seconds as well. And when you do the big sigh out, hold it again at the very end. And that's a breathing technique I really like. It works very rapidly, and within a minute or so you can reduce your heart rate, reduce your blood pressure, reduce your stress. So if you're in a stressful position, if you're in a stressful situation, you can do that without anyone really knowing what you're doing, but you can really control your stress, potentially your anxiety as well, by doing that. So number 3, learn a breathing technique. Number 4, learn a visualization technique. What do I mean by that? Well, visualization is a way of calming your mind by putting yourself somewhere else. So much like the breathing techniques, they just help you feel a bit more relaxed. So if you can, just try and close your eyes if you're able in a safe place and imagine somewhere calming. Imagine somewhere where you'd rather be. Imagine somewhere that you find joyful and relaxing and calming. And if you practice that, you can actually become very good at it and do those techniques very, very quickly. So that's my next point. Learn a visualization technique. Right, the next technique for relaxation and stress management would be to connect with your senses. So that's number 5, connect with your senses. Now there's quite a good exercise I learned for this once ages ago. It was in a book, I think it was called Mindfulness for Busy People. And it's an exercise where you imagine you're drinking a cup of coffee, or you actually do it with a cup of coffee, which is probably easier. But you smell the coffee, you feel the heat of the mug, you concentrate on the feeling of the steam on your face, and then when you finally drink it, you concentrate on the taste as well. And if you can do that with all your senses, it really does draw you into the moment, and so you stop thinking about the future and you're more concentrated on where you're at that time. So number 5, try a technique like that, which is connecting with your senses. Okay, so the last tip number 6, is to do something creative. Now, I am a massive advocate of being creative. I am always trying to get people to be creative, whether it's about their thinking or whether it's about actual kind of standard creative things like painting or drawing or something like that. But when you do something creative, first of all, you have to concentrate on what you're doing, because often it's something you might not have done before. And so it needs a bit of time and it needs a bit of your attention. And when you do things like that, you actually pull yourself away from the stresses in the future, which are imagined stresses, and draw yourself into the present moment. So try something creative, doesn't matter what it is, and you might find that that helps you manage your stress. Right, well, I hope you found those 6 points useful. And from the point of view of Jim Carrey, hopefully practicing those will stop you time travelling. And if you can stop time travelling and moving into a future that doesn't yet exist and is giving you all kinds of anxious thoughts and things, then perhaps things will be better and your stress will be better managed. So I hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Nice one.